Last night in Toronto, the tennis world witnessed a turning point. It wasn't a massive upset or a title-deciding thriller. It was a war of attrition between the world number 3 and an Australian player who wasn't even in the top 100. But Alexander Zverev didn't just compete against Adam Walton, he fought against himself. The match, 7-6, 6-4, but headlines do more justice to the event than just the score. A 52-shot rally, a nerve-wracking tiebreak, and a top seed pushed to his physical and emotional edges. Zverev seemed eager to close the gap, and even prematurely celebrated an ace in the first tiebreak, much to the laughter of both the umpire and the audience. The tennis world didn't watch a mere early round clash at the National Bank Open. They watched the world number 3, now without any pretense, who struggled to recover rhythm, conviction, and momentum. The match was Alexander Zverev's first since Wimbledon, where he crashed out in the first round against Arthur Rinderknecht, and the loss uncovered more than tennis flaws. Zverev said to the press, "I've never felt this empty before. Just lacking joy in everything I do? It's not about tennis. Something within me has to change." In the following weeks and ahead of Toronto, Zverev walked out of the spotlight, spending 10 days at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. He was conversing, training, and healing under the careful watch of Tony Nadal. Was it successful? It was at the Canadian Open where we'll see the proof of that progress. Without Sinner, Djokovic, and Alcaraz, the draw was more welcoming than ever. Zverev wasn't just the top seed, he was the eye of the storm. So last night's match, across the net was Adam Walton, a qualifier who had already beaten Benjamin Bonzi in round 1. Zverev is the number 3 on the ATP ranking, while Walton was number 110. The difference in ranking and reputation was stark, and on paper, this should have been an easy win for the German, but tennis is played on a court, not paper. From the very first minute, Walton's intentions were clear. He came to challenge the troubled star and exploit his previous indecisiveness in an attempt to win over the 2017 Canadian Open champion, and Zverev needed to establish control quickly. The first set had no breaks, but that doesn't mean you couldn't feel the tension in the air. Zverev had 2 break points early, but Walton showed decent court coverage and disguised his serve well, saving both. Zverev's serve presided over the first set, however his movement was lagging at times, and Walton matched him in baseline rallies. Also, Walton was rock solid in short points. And then came the tiebreak. It reached 5-5 at one moment, with Walton being up 5-3. The next point would be decisive for the match's outcome. So what happened? A 52-shot rally. Commentators were dazed, and one said on the broadcast, "Are you kidding me? They just won't miss." Back and forth, slices, angles, topspins, patience despite the rush, precision despite the tension. 52 exchanges in total for the longest rally of the ATP season. It didn't just test stamina or skills, it was a test of devotion. And Zverev won it, not with dominance, but with perseverance. It was a very important moment, a very important point for me. But the point took its toll. In one of the highlights of the match, Zverev had served and started roaring in celebration of what he thought was an ace before the chair umpire ruled that the ball was out. The German was visibly confused, and the whole scene provoked laughter from the audience. It was a set point, yes, but the roar felt disproportionate to the moment, drawing laughs instead of awe. Still, Zverev went on to win the point and ended the rally with a forehand at 7-6. Then the roar again, a fist pump, and a message: "I'm not done yet." Once he got the lead secured, you'd expect Zverev to glide, which he did for a few games. At 3-2, he smashed Walton at love, exhibiting better court positioning and accurate return depth. Most likely a lesson taken from Tony Nadal. As a commentator chirped in, "That's the kind of point construction Tony Nadal preaches. Smart, efficient, clinical." It was a clean hold for a while, resulting in a 5-2 lead, but just when the audience thought things were settled, cracks appeared. At 5-3, serving for the win, Zverev faced 3 break points. He double faulted. Old hauntings returned, but this time, Zverev didn't fold. He pressured a tight 10th game, all the way to the match point. Walton double faulted to Zverev's relief. After 1 hour and 42 minutes, the match was over. The scoreboard, 7-6, 6-4. It was far from an ideal performance, but it was a crucial one. Zverev would confirm this in a post-match interview. "Sometimes it's about winning a match, not always playing your best. I'm happy to be playing again." It was not just a win for Zverev. He endured, he retaliated, and he once again looked like someone growing his game again, one rally at a time. After all, the Toronto Masters is more than a shot at a title for Zverev. It is a mental crossroads and a career checkpoint. Back in 2017, he won the tour, but back then, he was radiating confidence. There were no scars from the pressure of life and career. But today, every game is a statement. With the wide open draw and few rivals, Canada has opened its doors for Zverev. His next opponent will be Matteo Arnaldi, a number 32 seed, and if he wins, a potential quarterfinal is likely to be Fonseca or Humbert. No big three this time, no slam-level grind, just the opportunity. Winning can get him back into the game. Losing carries no excuses. Toronto 2025 might be a decisive moment in Zverev's career. Let's remember Tony Nadal's touch is all over this performance. Although he isn't officially part of Zverev's team, at least not yet, he has shown interest. Furthermore, it seems that he has swayed the world number 3 into his fold. That said, Zverev's decision-making shows more thought, his point construction is more composed, and most importantly, his mindset is much more grounded in reality. Let's trace this back to a statement Zverev made about his Mallorca retreat. Tony gave me confidence. When he speaks, when Rafa speaks, you listen. Zverev is not after mere titles anymore. The stakes are much higher. He's chasing peace of mind and a steady course in his career, and perhaps with Tony's mentorship, he's getting closer to both. While Walton pushed Zverev harder than anyone expected, this match revealed something deeper. It isn't just about competition or even just about tennis. It is about a man trying to reclaim joy in what he does, especially after the Wimbledon reveal. Zverev has fought injuries, criticism, and off-court controversies. The public eye has kept its gaze on him and his battles. Despite this, we're not even close to understanding how the great tennis player feels. Still, he keeps showing up in court and trying his best. Zverev said at Wimbledon, "I've been through a lot of difficulties in the media. I've been through a lot of difficulties in life generally. So this isn't a comeback story. This is a story of survival. This is a reminder that we need the storyteller to keep the story going." Today, Alexander Zverev is a single win away from 500 career victories. Since 2020, only Sinner has won more matches, but stats can't predict the future or define what happens next. A grounded mindset will, a motivated hand, and heart as well. Zverev will need all three against Arnaldi. He'll need it if he reaches the quarters. These are the core components if he wants to lift the Toronto trophy again. Fighting the ugly thoughts, keeping the emptiness away, and trusting himself during pressure will be the path he needs to take to reach the top. This match against Walton showed us one thing, that Zverev is willing to take on the struggle. In tennis, it is often where the path to a grand legacy begins. So when we wrap things up, what do we get? The longest rally of the year ended in a point for Zverev. A match that may not have dazzled with highlights, but still carried deep emotions. Can this Toronto stake turn into something more profound, more lasting? Or will the yet another Zverev stint end up in failure? Is Tony Nadal the missing puzzle? And will Zverev ever win a Grand Slam? Because sometimes all it takes is one match, one rally to forever change the course of a career. Let us know in the comments.